could fight. Gotta try hard sometime. Watch this awesome move. Cute.
Alright, so we got March 7th. She's a 4-star ice preservation character. So yes, she is going to be a tank character. Let's go and take a look at some of her light cones here for preservation. Let's go to the data bank. Let's go to preservation here. First and foremost, you do have Japard's light cone. It is a 5-star light cone. Do bear in mind it is a standard character or a standard banner light cone, so you're able to get that and buy it from the shop eventually. It increases the wearer's defense by 24% and effect hit rate by 24% as well. Effect hit rate is basically like her freeze for March. Increases the chance for the wearer to be attacked by the enemies, which is good and bad if you're running this in a Clara team comp, for example. You don't want this in a Clara team comp because you want Clara to be the one to get attacked. When the wearer is attacked, increase their defense by an extra 24% until the end of the wearer's turn. So if you're running this as March as a standalone tank without Clara in your team comp, you could technically run this. But if you're running it with Clara, I probably wouldn't recommend running Moment of Victory. Overall, still a good preservation 5-star light cone. We do have day 1 of my new life, which is my personal favorite. Increases the wearer's defense by 16%, and after entering battle, increases damage resistance of all allies by 8%. So if you are running March 7th as your tank on your team, everyone will be having an 8% damage resistance, and that goes for the entire fight. We have Landau's choice again. The wearer is more likely to be attacked, but the damage taken is reduced by 16%. Make sure you just pop a shield on your March 7th. And then we have the Battle Pass light cone. Increase the wearer's defense by 16%. Increase the damage of the wearer when they use their ultimate by 16% of the wearer's defense. So all you have to do is pretty much build defense on March 7th. More damage with her ultimate. You're not going to really try and build her as a damage dealer. It's more so for her counter. We'll get into that in a little bit later. Another 3-star light cone here. Amber is a good one to take a look at. Increase the wearer's defense by 16%. If the wearer's current HP is lower than 50%, their defense increases a further 16. So in my opinion, I would always recommend day 1 of my new life. I feel like that is probably the best 4-star light cone that you can run on Amber, especially if you're comboing her with a Clara team comp. Moment of Victory is also really good if you're not, because you're still more likely to be attacked. You just don't want to take the aggro away from Clara, if that makes any sense. Did I say Amber? Ah, fuck it. Whatever, dude. So now let's dive into the traces for March 7th. So in terms of priority on things that I would upgrade, I'd focus on running her skill ability, most importantly, mainly because this is your shield. Every time you use your E, you're providing a shield that can absorb 40% of March 7th's defense plus an extra damage number for 3 turns. If that current ally has an HP percentage 30% or higher, you will greatly increase the chance of enemies attacking that ally. Second thing I would prioritize is most likely going to be the ultimate here. This is your quote-unquote freeze ability. Hit enemies have a 50% chance to be frozen for 1 turn. While frozen, enemies cannot take action and will receive additional ice damage equal to 30% of March 7th's attack at the beginning of every turn. Third, I would focus on the talent, because after a shielded ally is attacked by an enemy, like Clara, for example, March 7th will immediately counter. So you basically have like double counter going on right there, dealing ice damage equal to 50% of her attack. Now that does seem a little bit bad. We're going to get into this in a little bit because she is a defensive scaling character, and I think scaling that off her attack is pretty bad, but just bear with me here. There is going to be an Eidolon that helps you out with this, and this effect can be triggered 2 times for each turn. And then last but not least will be the basic attack. That is pretty much your last thing to prioritize in terms of leveling up. So you go from skill to alt to talent into your basic attack. In terms of bonus abilities to upgrade, 100% take this, because March 7th is able to remove a debuff from an ally, if you guys didn't know that. Her bonus ability, as you use your skill, the shield, can also remove a debuff from an ally. I would also recommend leveling up this bonus ability Reinforce. Once you hit Character Ascension 4, the duration of the shield generated from the skill is extended for an additional turn. So basically 4 turns there. And then, of course, this is your ultimate. Base chance to freeze enemy will be increased by an additional 15%. You're not getting that until Ascension 6, however. So these two down here, really good for bonus abilities to prioritize and focus on. Let's jump really quickly over to the Relics. Relics are going to be very simple here, as she is a preservation character. You're basically just going to be stacking defense on her. So there is a defensive set, Knight of Purity Palace. You get a free set, at least one from Pom Pom early on, and a 3-star set as well. Increases the wearer's defense by 15% for the 2-piece, and for the 4-piece, you get increases the damage that can be absorbed by the shield created by the wearer by an additional 20%. So main stats here is always going to be HP for the head, attack for the gloves. Right here, I would always go defense, and for the boots, I'd always recommend defense as well. Either defense or speed, depending on like what you want to do with your team comp in order to take more turns versus the enemy. Speed pretty much essentially lets you take more turns over the enemy, and you can use your abilities more often, generate some more energy, and keep doing your combo. So either speed or defense for the boots is what I would recommend for March 7th. If we're moving over to the other two relic sets, the spheres, I would go with Belobog of the Architects. So the 2-piece reads increases the wearer's defense by 15%, and when the wearer's effect hit rate is 50% or higher, you get another 15% as well. So hopefully the substats, what I would recommend would be effect hit rate, defense most importantly, speed, and effect resist. Effect resist because you want to make sure you resist those debuffs so you're able to actually stay active and stay up, so you can keep shielding your characters and continue to cleanse your allies if they end up getting inflicted with a debuff themselves. For the main stat here, I would say go defense, and for this one right here, I would also say go defense, because you're pretty much using your skill ability. Your ult is just for the freeze. You could go energy regeneration rate if you so wish. I'd recommend going defense on both. So alternatively, if you want to swap out effect hit rate, the 4 main substats would be defense first, of course, effect resist, because effect resist is really good for your support characters like I recommended, speed, so you can continuously lap the enemies and continuously pop your abilities, and then HP percent. Okay, so if we're talking about March 7th's Eidolons, all of her Eidolons are actually really good. So her first one, every time March 7th's ultimate freezes an enemy, she will regenerate more energy back, aka able to continuously pop her ultimate, right? An endless cycle. Number 2, which is one of my personal favorites, upon entering battle, grants a shield equal to 24% of March 7th's defense, plus 320 to the ally with the lowest HP, lasting 2 turns. So every time you start the fight, someone automatically gets a shield, and then you have your E ability to give another person a shield. 2 characters with a shield right off the bat, which seems nice. Her 4 ability allows you to counter 1 more time every turn, and the damage dealt by the counter increases by an additional by an amount that is equal to 30% of March 7th's defense, which is good. But my most favorite one is gonna be E6 here. Allies under the protection of her shield granted by the skill will also restore HP equal to 4% of their max HP. So not only are you able to shield with March, and not only are you able to have that character a greater chance to be attacked with the debuff, you also are able to heal them on top of that. So you got a shielder, you have a taunter, quote unquote, a debuffer, and a healer all in one. And that's March 7th in a nutshell. So my ideal team comps that I would recommend for March 7th would always be Clara, March 7th, and pop the shield on Clara. Put Natasha in your team as a healer, and then another damage dealer like a Hunt, Don Hung, Su Shang, Yan Qing. Any like Hunt single target damage dealer basically works for that. If you want to run her as a standalone tank, you can. As I said, she's a preservation character, and you can just run her as a standalone for pretty much any team comp. Combo her with Natasha, and then bring your damage dealer, your erudition character, Hunt, whatever it might be. So that is the full March 7th overview and what I think about her. Light cones, relics, traces, etc. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hope this video was informative or helpful in some way. Feel free to join us over on Twitch. We talk Honkai Star Rail every day. We're streaming daily, and feel free to ask any questions you guys might have. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.